Hey everybody, Jay Barino here. Thanks for joining me today, making a short update video here. And I want to talk about where the channel's going and compare also to what I had talked about wanting to accomplish at the beginning of the year, because my last update video was much earlier in the year, and now we're a little over halfway through 2020. And there are multiple pieces to the content that I put on the channel, and where each one is going is slightly different. So the pieces are, number one, the consistent schedule, and that's what you see at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Saturday. And those series, for the most part, are staying the same. But I want to talk about specifically the time slot that is now currently Age of Empires 2 that was previously Command & Conquer. The second piece to the content is kind of where my own curiosity takes me. Typically new series that are being released, which was like Warcraft 3 Reforged and now Command & Conquer Remastered, and then what's going to take that time slot coming up. And that's not consistent. I don't always have extra series, but when I do have a series that I'm really interested in and that I record a lot of, it comes out daily. And then on top of that is streaming, which I've gotten into on Saturdays, and I've been consistently streaming on Saturdays. So if you were looking for where I'm streaming, it is every Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You should see a notification on my Discord, as well as a notification on my community tab on YouTube. And you should, if you're a subscriber, just get notified in general in your recommendeds. So I kind of want to rewind a bit, and we can start on again, there's the consistency, the curiosity, and then the streaming. So on the consistency side of things, I've got the Monday, Wednesday StarCraft 2, that's staying the same. I've got the Tuesday, Friday Warcraft 3, that's staying the same. And the reason that I spread those out, and I only do 2 a week and have them on different days, is I like to make sure that I don't burn through content too fast for those games, and subsequently, number one, run out of content to play, and number two, burn myself out on those games. So I still enjoy playing those specifically because I spread out how much of them that I play. And just to kind of clarify that, I've talked about it before, but just to kind of remind people why it is that way. You know, I don't play way more Warcraft 3 so that I don't get to the point where I don't want to play it anymore. And I'm very happy with the rate at which I'm playing StarCraft 2 and Warcraft 3 at this point. I do want to play more Direct Strike and get some more videos out. I have people asking about that. It seems like the people that do enjoy that really enjoy that. And I've been playing that a little bit on stream as well. So if you want to pop in and watch the streams, you'll probably see some Direct Strike. But when I play Direct Strike, I'll get some more videos out for you. That series isn't over, but it's just more of a when I play it, I'll put the videos up. But it's not a consistent thing right now. So the last piece of the consistency portion of the channel content that I bring up is really how what I choose to do with that Thursday-Saturday time slot, which is currently Age of Empires 2. We were on the Command & Conquer franchise for a long time because there were a lot of games in the Command & Conquer franchise, but we jumped from game to game pretty quick. Whereas Age of Empires 2, we could spend a very long time just on Age of Empires 2 without moving on to either Age of Empires or Age of Mythology or just a totally different game. One thing I talked about at the beginning of the year was looking at some older real-time strategy games, which we did with Command & Conquer, but I also want to do with Age of Empires, but then move on from Age of Empires, right? I don't want to stay on Age of Empires 2 for too long. The question is, how long is too long? And that's something where I think, my decision on that will simply evolve the more that I play the game, right? I don't want to rush through it, but I also don't want to stay on it for two years, 3 years, etc., right? I want to use that Thursday-Saturday time slot as part of the consistent schedule to explore other titles, specifically real-time strategy, specifically like the nostalgia real-time strategy zone, as it were. Like there's KKND, there's Dune, there's Dark Colony. There's just a plethora of titles. I have a list. I don't have it in front of me, which is why I can't just rattle off the titles. But there's so many that you all have suggested and that I have stumbled upon. And I have the list. But it's more, prioritizing how quickly I can move from which one to which one. I got kind of complacent thinking Thursday, Saturday is just going to be Command & Conquer. Because there were a lot of Command & Conquer campaigns to play. There are a lot of vanilla games to move from, and now we're on Age of Empires 2, and the question is, do I play the entirety of all of Age of Empires 2 and then the custom campaigns? I think doing that would keep us on Age of Empires 2 for longer than I simply want to. So the question is, how do we parse out that content and when do we move on? Now, that also doesn't mean that I don't know. I guess the point is I don't know right now, but I just want to explain, you know, compared to where I was at the beginning of the year to where I am now, because I might end up really loving Age of Empires 2 and staying on it for a really long time simply because I love the game. I don't know, is what I'm saying. But I just want to say that at this point, I'm kind of erring towards picking a definitive endpoint for when we'll stop Age of Empires 2 and then move into something new. And that's not to say I'll never return to it. That's not saying I won't stream it to you know, try on harder difficulties or revisit campaigns that I didn't play or custom campaigns, etc., etc. But it's just too soon to say because I just started the series and we're probably going to stick with it for a while. But I really do want to continue exploring the genre in general because I feel like my horizons have really opened up now that I've played Age of Empires 2 a bit and have played Command & Conquer. These are franchises I didn't play enough of when I was younger to get a good diaspora to experience the diaspora of real-time strategy where it's like, you know, 50%, like Warcraft 3, 50% real-time strategy, 50% RPG versus Age of Empires, which is like 75% RTS but 25% city builder, right? There's the way that it blends with other genres with these different titles. Like I want to explore this stuff more, and I only have a certain amount of time to record stuff on the channel. So I just want to explain again that time slot is not designated for Command & Conquer or Age of Empires 2. It's designated for like real-time strategy exploration. And that's what I want to make clear, and that's what I'm going to stick with. But for now, it's Age of Empires 2, and then eventually we'll move on to something new. When that will be, I don't know. This has been a very roundabout way to discuss the topic, but I just kind of want to explain where my mindset is with that. Because I did talk about, again, these older real-time strategy games at the beginning of the year, and that has not changed. I still have a desire to check those out. Okay, next piece is the curiosity portion, and this has really been taken up by new releases. First, it was Warcraft 3 Reforged. Currently, we're on Command & Conquer Remastered. I'm having a lot of fun playing Command & Conquer Remastered, but when we're done with Red Alert Remastered, which won't be for a while, but once that's done, that's where I'm going. That's the time slot I'm going to be using for Doom mods and then eventually more of the retro first-person shooter stuff that I've talked about, like Ion Fury, like Dusk, like a Medieval. That's where those are going to go. And I say a time slot, but it's not really a consistent one. When I get really into a game, I'm probably going to record it all pretty quick over the course of a couple days, and that's why you see the videos come out on a daily basis, like Command & Conquer Remastered, like Warcraft 3 Reforged. But Warcraft 3 Reforged was a good example where, like, I didn't really feel like playing it, so I stopped and took a couple weeks break before I got back to it. So those aren't really scheduled per se, but typically when I'm really into something like that, you're going to see it come out on a daily basis. And that's what I would consider the curiosity portion. And if I just don't have time, I'm going to err on the side of recording on the consistent scheduled stuff and not have an extra series going. But in the future, once we're done with Command & Conquer, again, there'll be a bit of a break, and then I'm going to transition probably into Doom mods, into more of the retro FPS stuff. And there's still several months left in the year for me to accomplish what I had set out to do, and we'll definitely be getting into those. I thought I'd get into them earlier, but turned out, you know, again, Warcraft 3 Reforged, followed by Command & Conquer Remastered, ended up taking up the time that I would have used to move into that other stuff. But I definitely wanted to play Reforged, even though it was a disaster. The game was a disaster, not my playthrough of it. And then I obviously am really enjoying Command & Conquer Remastered, more than I thought I would, honestly. I really have a drive to keep playing it, and I'm just about done with recording the entirety of Red Alert Remastered at the time of me making this update video. Alright, the last thing is streaming. I've been streaming consistently on Saturdays, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I really hope you come and join me. We have a lot of fun. I've got some consistent viewers now. And right now I'm playing Metroid Prime. I previously had played Command & Conquer Renegade. So those VODs are available typically within a day or two of me streaming them on the Jburrito Discord. You can find them right away. So if you want to see me play Command & Conquer Renegade, the videos are there, but they're pasted unlisted in my Discord. And then eventually I'll cut them up into episodes on YouTube. And the reason I don't do that immediately is because, number one, it's very time-consuming. It's more time-consuming than you'd expect to cut those up into videos. Which is why if you want to watch like a 4 to 5 hour long stream, you can, but they're unlisted currently. So you just got to join the Jburrito Discord. There's a link in the description, and you can, chat if you want, or you can just lurk and just have access to those. You can also be notified when I stream. by sitting in the Discord as well. So the stream is just definitely much more like off the cuff, like, hey, I found this game and I really want to play it, so we're going to play it. Like, big thanks to Azure Guy, who showed me how to set up the Metroid Prime trilogy on like a modified Dolphin emulator, and that's what we're playing right now. I previously had played Command & Conquer Renegade, and that's very much just going to be like here's a random thing that I'm just like really into this weekend, and we're going to play it. And then eventually I'll start taking more recommendations from consistent viewers and channel members. We're going to play more Direct Strike on there, etc., etc. So that's how, again, I kind of separate my channel content and upcoming content into 3 pieces. I hope that clarifies it. I try to clarify this every time I do a channel update, but I think this might be the most clarity I've given, because I hope that the schedule is fairly clear for folks. It is on my Discord, it is on my new subscriber video description, it is on my About page as well. I try to make it as clear as possible, but again, I would start adding the streaming stuff to the more consistency side of things, because I do it every Saturday. And the only way that you're going to gain consistent stream viewers is by being consistent with your schedule. So again, if you're interested, you can come and hang out and chat. We're there on Saturdays most of the day, in my time zone at least. It's 11 a.m. to about 5, which I know isn't great for like the APAC region. I think that's pretty good though for the US and Europe. So if you're interested, you can come hang out. Otherwise, you can check out the stream VODs. All right, so I think that's pretty clear. If you have any questions though, you can ask in the comments, and I'll try to respond where applicable. But yeah, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for supporting the channel. A big thanks to channel members. It means a lot to me that you're willing to support the channel at that level, and I just really appreciate it. Also, big thanks to Azure Guy, who helped me set up Metroid Prime Trilogy, and big thanks to Miasmatic, who's been helping with a lot of channel art, especially my stream overlays, which I think have improved vastly. You know, previously on my stream, I just had the chat overlaid on the game, and it just looked sloppy. Now I've got a really nice overlay for a space for the webcam and the chat and for some stream info, and then the game is separate, so nothing's really conflicting with each other anymore. So I think that's going to continue to improve as I stream more and more and get more incentivized to make those quality of life changes for you all, and I'm looking for input on that as well for what we can make better. All right, well, again, thank you so much for your continued support and input, and I hope that at the end of the day you just find the content that I'm putting out entertaining. That's all that matters. I hope that you are entertained. I find it fulfilling to make the videos in general, so I will continue to do so. All right, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.